Morning, Anna. It's hunting season, and our dogs are clearly not hunting dogs, so they're not going hunting with the boys, but you can't fire the Ranger up without the dogs jumping in. And our sweatshirt weather's here. Like, it's down to, I don't know, mid to upper 50s this morning, which feels awesome. All of that also means that harvest is coming. It's September now, which is always kind of a big rat race for me. I bounce around between everything getting ready on the farm, kids going back to school, Onyx leaving decoys for hunting all over our yard, and we got a lot of big racing specials. So we're kind of all over the place in September before harvest really kicks off, and then October it's just go time, harvest time. And I really didn't come in this shop for any specific reason other than I like to open up the doors on the nice days. It's like you're opening up shop, like you're opening your business for the day. We've also got these guys working here today. So we got Andy and Logan from boltsandnuts.com. You'll notice we cleaned up this edge of the shop a little bit. Mostly we cleaned up this area by moving the junk over here. But we'll clean that up as it comes. But these guys are gonna build us a massive a bolt and nut assortment, hardware assortment.
Yeah, basically a mini hardware store.
A mini hardware store, but better because it's right here on the farm.
Yes, right. You're not gonna have to go anywhere. It's what it is actually our Mac Daddy Farm Edition, and it's over 31,000 pieces of hardware. It's a pretty big setup.
So I'm gonna do my thing and let them do their thing, and we're gonna keep checking in with these guys, and this is gonna be, I know it's considerably bigger than what it looks like they've got here right now, so we're gonna keep checking in here, but this thing's gonna be awesome. It's a beautiful day to get some ditches mowed. This is not exactly one of the most important jobs on the farm, but we do it for a few reasons. Number one, I like to do it right around home because it keeps the weeds down. Otherwise, we end up with water hemp or giant ragweed along the edges of the fields, and I just like to trim that out of there. But second, it just looks nicer. Also, if it's trimmed, the snow doesn't blow in as badly on our open road here in the wintertime, which can be a real pain when you need to go get groceries. Plus, I mean, everybody knows that if you mow the ditches, it makes the road look wider. There, that looks nice. And it wiped out some of the giant weeds that were starting to come along the edges of the field. All right, for my next trick, I don't want to do this, but you see these trees that were planted here maybe 15 years ago? They've gotten really nice. They're beautiful trees, but they're also way too close to the driveway, and they're difficult to get the equipment past, and they needed to be cut about 2 years ago. And they're way too big to move with a spade truck, plus there's a 3-phase power line underneath them. So I'm not gonna be digging them out. Actually, that stupid box elder tree right there doesn't make me sad, but this ash tree right here, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, now I am not a professional lumberjack, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's that everybody else on the internet is. So, enjoy. I'm just gonna cut this tree, and then a bunch of you can tell me what I did wrong, okay? I'm okay, and the tree is down, and I got safety glasses. Now, the easiest way to move a tree is not to cut it apart limb by limb and stick it in a pile. The easiest way is to use a rope or a chain or a ratchet strap and drag it away with the Ranger. Work smarter, not harder. I'm one-handed. There we go. Camera guy would come in handy sometimes. Oh, lost my shoe. Clean the window here so we can see out of it a little better. See, that's how you do it. I got the little one done. Oh, it's hot out here in these fields. People are always asking me, Zach, you look warm. How do you stay hydrated? How do you stay healthy? What's your secret? Well, it's easy. I'll show you here. It's not the fact that I give the dogs a ride in a Ranger all the time. And it's not just a regular old bottle of water. It's what I add to it. This is Element right here. It's an electrolyte drink mix. It's got sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Yeah, I had to look at it for a second. Everything you need in there to keep your body truly hydrated so that your muscles can absorb this cold water. I'm going with the grapefruit today. They make tons of different flavors. I prefer the fruit ones, but they make chocolate ones and jalapeno, habanero ones. You'll find something you like for sure. All you gotta do is mix it in your water here and enjoy it. There is no sugar, there's no artificial stuff in here. There's really none of that fake junk. It's just everything that you need that's healthy for you to really keep you hydrated. It keeps the brain fog away. It keeps my muscle cramps away. That's been a huge one for me. And it works with your diets, your paleo diets, fasting, ketogenic diets, all those sorts of things. I suggest you try them out. Just go to drinkelement.com/farmer. You can get your 8 free sample pack right there and figure out which flavor you like the best. And there's no risk. If you order some, they have an absolutely no questions asked return policy, which is crazy. If for some reason you don't like it, just let them know and they're going to refund you. But you'll like it. I mean, even the dogs love it. But I'm not going to give them any because I need it for myself. Anyway, drinkelement.com/farmer. It's down in the description. Try some out for yourself. That's a nice tree. That's a nice tree. It's a shame. I am gonna cut it, but before I do that, I believe Andy and Logan are finished putting our bolt bin together, so I'm gonna go check in with them and maybe take those boys to lunch because it's that time. Oh, this looks awesome.
It's coming along.
It's coming along. So we got a whole bunch of grade 8 fasteners here, metric and standard. There's things like leg screws, leg bolts in here, carriage bolts. What do you call these? Flange bolts?
The flange bolts, yeah.
Flange bolts. All kinds of different sizes. This is gonna be really, really handy. And I saw we got threaded rod, zip ties, like hose clamps.
Yeah.
All kinds of random hardware with it.
Just random. We have cotter pins, drilling screws, and that's what he's putting in over there. These are like, we use the bolt bins for your bolts, lag screws, carriage bolts, you know, any of like the bigger stuff. And then a lot of the variety comes over here in these little drawer kits we have as well. Awesome. And did you say like 32,000 pieces? Over 31,000. Over 31,000. Yes. This is a big kit. And so this is, you said this is the Mac Daddy XL? Yeah, Mac Daddy XL. Did I say that correct? Yep, Mac Daddy XL. This is the Farm Edition. So when you say Farm Edition, like you guys have gone through, talked to farmers and actually come up with a plan for like what the best package is. Yes, sir. This is my company. I'm 5th generation fasteners. We've been doing this a long time. So we used our fastener knowledge and talked to all our farming customers, and this is specifically designed for the farming industry. And the part that I think is really cool is every single item has the, what do you call that? That's the QR code. QR code. So when you run out of stock, all you have to do is scan that QR code. It'll bring you to this exact item on our website. You can order 1 piece, 10 pieces, a full truckload, whatever you need, and add it to your cart, check out, and they ship right to you. It's gonna come right to you. That's awesome. So that when we run out of, or we get short on one thing, I can stand here and scan that with my phone and get it coming. Yep. So that's the problem. Otherwise I make a list, and then I lose the list, and then I make the same list a month later and I still don't have what I need. Right. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. Yeah, it takes it right to that exact item, and that's how we do it. We do it differently than most, and yeah, it makes it super simple. All right, it's time now. We need lunch. I fully planned on buying lunch, but Andy insisted on it. So thank you, Andy, for buying lunch. It was delicious. I do love small town bars. All right, these guys got the system all finished up now. We're all done. They got threaded rod in here.
There's zip ties up there. I don't know if I mentioned that before. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff in here. We've got rivets, cotter pins, all kinds of kits in here, electrical kits. And these kits too, they pop right out so you can take them with you, right?
Yep.
They all pop right out. So
grab and go handle there. Yeah.
So this is going to be really handy. But I know this system is pretty big. Andy was mentioning that they make much smaller systems, or they make all kinds of systems.
Yeah, so this is our biggest setup. These are the Mac Daddy XLs, like we said. But yeah, we stock over 500 different bolt assortments of all different sizes, from those little drawers to just bag kits. Something like this is too big for you. And then we also stock over 24,000 different products. So.
And so, there's nothing too big or too small.
No.
Like, they can customize their own kit too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, if there's something on our website that you see that doesn't work, or you see something on the website that you like but doesn't work for you, we could totally customize it for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. This is going to be awesome. What's in the cabinet? Anything yet?
No, it comes empty. We do have, we have some bolt gauges in here, and it comes with some hats. We got a banner in there, and then some shirts.
Apparel. It's the merch cabinet.
Yes, sir.
Well, to be totally honest with you guys, that was an extended lunch. It is now 3:30, and we have a back-to-school thing that we have to do tonight. So I'm going to see you tomorrow. Got everything all cleaned up now. Filters are good. Oil levels are good. Last thing I'm going to do is vacuum it up, and then after that, I've actually got some stuff I got to do for the rest of the day that's non-farming related. So I'm going to leave you guys with some stuff I did with formerly Tillage Man Sam, now Kibble Man Sam, works for Kibble Equipment, big John Deere dealer that'd be west and south of us. But he invited me down for like a field days or tech days, or I don't remember what it was called. A few days ago I went down there. Anyway, it was fun. They had some new equipment, so we're just gonna roll that footage. Actually, before we roll that footage, I psyched you out there. I just wanted to let you know, because a few of you are gonna ask. Jim and Dad are fine, they're doing well, they're just not here today. So they'll be back out. They'll be here. Okay, now we'll roll that footage. Look what I found. Tractors and stuff. So the artist formerly known as Tillage Man Sam, who is now Kibble Man Sam, invited me down here for some field days. There's some new combines here, a whole bunch of new technology. The big 800 and some horsepower John Deere tractors are here. I'm gonna let Sam tell us exactly where we're at and what we're doing, but first I gotta find Sam. Take me on a tour. First tell me where we are, what we're doing. What's going on here?
So you're at Kibble Tech Expo, which is mildly ironic because you don't do any business with Kibble equipment.
Right, that's true.
But I thought it'd be a good chance for you to get out here and see some stuff without the horde of people while we're doing our own videos today.
So is the equipment still sitting here from Farm Fest? Because we're at the Gilfillan estate where Farm Fest was held, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, so when I taking over like the Farm Fest duties, the idea was
duty.
The reason we went all out on Farm Fest was because we're gonna do an event like this, Kibble Tech Expo. So we have a dual purpose for, all the machinery being there.
So who's coming here today? Who comes to Kibble Tech Expo besides people that don't do any business with you?
Today we only had one guy sign up, and that was you. No, we're using today as an opportunity because we have all this equipment here. Some of it's not ours, some of it's owned by John Deere, but we have all of our experts in place and all the people that have obviously are set to train on it. So we're gonna get that stuff on video. So that's the idea. It's like a media day, but internally?
An internal media day.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
I gotcha. I see the tillage equipment here. Would they mind if we ripped up the hayfield, the Farm Fest parking lot? For media purposes.
So last year, we wanted to run a VT out here, and we got this whole like, I don't know, I don't think we should do any tillage out here. We don't know if the grass is going to come back. And then as soon as we were done, they came up and ripped the whole thing.
But they didn't allow you to do any of it?
No, because some farmer runs this,
keeps the property maintained.
Alfalfa. Yeah.
Sure.
Cuts the alfalfa, and so he wanted it tilled up. And I was like, couldn't we just talk to that guy?
You could have.
I mean, it would look great if we did. It's not like we're going to wreck it. We got the right piece of tillage out here.
Well, you could bring in a seeder then as well. You could float some seed on over here and VT it back in.
Could do that. We could plant some corn. I don't know.
Let's go do something. This is the biggest thing so far that I've seen here that I'm excited about. this not Sam, but the 830 horsepower 9RX here. Now this is not just this is not the same 9RX that we've seen that's 830 horsepower. This is a whole different frame.
Yeah, it's not just like they used to make muscle cars in the 60s where they just take the same car, put a big old engine in it, and then just let it eat.
Right.
So this thing was completely redesigned. So it's got new chassis, brand new transmission built just for this, JD18 engine. So the engine's new, transmission's new, chassis new, tracks are all new. Like the track footprint is bigger. So like the compaction difference between a 640 on tracks and a 830 is roughly the same.
So that's like the same frame back there that everybody's used to.
Yeah.
That's a 640 you said?
Your existing.
Yes.
I don't know, it's weird because they're both 9RXs, so you can't, it's not like it's a 10RX where you got a difference. You got to call like a high horsepower 9RX. That's what Deere calls it. So
that's what they call it?
Yeah.
Internally?
Externally too, I think. I don't know. I'm not good on the lingo.
Well, you can definitely tell just walking by it. And I saw one of these at Commodity Classic, but I don't think I did any video of it. There were some people who did, but you can see the wider stance on it. I mean, it's big framed. Everything seems more open. I can't tell if that's the design or if it's because it's so large that everything just ends up more open.
Like the fuel tank is moved around, so that takes up, moves a lot of the bulkiness of around the cab down low.
Yeah, and you can obviously see that. Can we hop in and drive this thing here today?
Yeah, we can drive it. We can drive. We should just call this one the Daddy 9RX, and this one is the Baby.
That got too weird.
Call this one Daddy.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if we'll interrupt this video, but I don't really care.
That is a beast of a hood. It looks big from the outside, but it's much more obvious in here.
They have a word for that though, right?
No.
Thick! Sorry, the hood's dirty.
It is a little bit right in that area there.
Yeah, well, it's got to be real,
It is. It's real. I like the tinted rear window.
Yeah,
it's not getting so much sunshine on my back.
That is an available option.
Way more visibility back here with the tanks moving. And a lot more room, like for swinging activities. Yeah, like karate practice.
They didn't actually make the buddy seat any bigger though, so like I'm still kind of one cheeking it, but...
Well, it's a good thing you're a small guy.
I got room for my legs.
I'm a big fan of this corner display right there just because it's pretty. It's a lot different looking. I like it.
Digital.
Yeah. A couple of Gen 5 displays. It turns a lot sharper than I thought it would with the stance that it has.
Yes, wide stance, but a lot of what they call articulation.
And that's okay.
It's not one of those industry jargon terms.
I've heard people talk about the 800. So first off, this one's what, 840?
830.
What options are there?
So there's the 710, the 770, and the 830 those are the Daddy 9RXs.
The big frame 9RX. I told you not to do that. The big frame 9RX.
And all of them have a 10%, horsepower bulge. So max horsepower on the 710 would be like 781, roughly. I mean, just a guess, ballpark. And then the 830 would go up to 913 max horsepower.
Jeez.
But if you're using like air seaters, where you're using the full capability of the hydraulics, then that'll push you into hydraulic IPM, which is another 40 horsepower. So then you're up to 953 if you're utilizing hydraulic IPM, which is badass.
And it will hold that?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're using that all day long, it'll hold that horsepower?
Yeah.
953?
Yeah, the hydraulic IPM is like, they know that the horsepower is not getting slammed into the tracks. The horsepower is getting, pulled into the implement, so it'll boost it a little bit more.
That I didn't know. So, who's using 950 horsepower tractors like this? Because there's going to be some people wondering why the tractors need to be so big all of a sudden.
And it's funny because the people we've sold it to are just like, I just feel like the 640 wasn't enough for what we wanted to do. And honestly, I think for any, up here, at least in our territory, there's not a lot of air seaters. Like this will be a big deal in air seating territory, with 100-foot air seaters, and you got the cart behind it. A lot of hills normally in air, so you can the idea is you can pull it a mile an hour faster, you know, and hopefully, you know, and you go wider and faster. But with our territory, it's going to be like tillage tractor for a lot of it.
Right.
And that's
like a big ripper. I mean, if you have a 13 shank ripper, that takes a lot of power.
Yes. Actually, there's very few people that can even pull a 13 shank ripper, especially up here.
Right.
Because what do you have a 9, right?
We have a 9 shank, yes.
Yeah.
And we pull it with a 570, but it uses everything it has to have it at the correct depth and pull it at the speed we want to.
Right, and a lot of times when we set rippers, we would always set them like guys set them to go 6 miles an hour. They just want to go 6 miles an hour, so they'll cheat everything up just to go
to get that speed.
To get enough speed out of it, because you got to get done. Ripping takes a long time.
Right.
So if you can go wider and go 6.5 miles an hour, you know, with a 13 shank ripper, like, let her buck.
Why not? So that's who will use something like this.
Yeah.
The daddy 9RX.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no implement hooked to this thing today, so we really can't pull anything with it. I did make a suggestion to Sam that we head back here onto the actual Farm Fest grounds and just run over a bunch of the crop out there, because I don't know what they do with it. Like, it's little half-acre, 1-acre plots. He didn't really know who to check with to see if that'd be allowed or not. I guess it's not necessary that we go full whistling diesel just because we don't have something to pull with it either. Now the 640, nothing whole new there. Here we got a 60.5 foot field cultivator, or a digger as it's called in my area, but thanks to the internet I learned about field cultivator. This is a 2230, so I mean, I'll ask Sam. He's pretending to be busy right now, but I'll ask him about this thing. I'm imagining it's the same as our 2230. Ours is 52 or 53 feet. Not quite as wide as this one. Now Sam just said what's different about this is that it could have True Set active.
It could have.
It doesn't, but it could.
Well, anything new, brand new, will have True Set active on it, which is like, it's a boom track sensor that monitors the actual height off the ground, you know, because otherwise you're just going off a linkage on a sensor.
Right.
This one's actually getting a live feedback of the changing, you know, height. So if you got mud building up on your tires,
it knows that.
Yeah, or if you're getting to mellower ground, it'll sync.
Okay.
But it only adjusts like every 30 seconds. So it's not like a boom system where it's always, you know, going up and down and, you know, changing every half a second. This one kind of waits so there's a noticeable change. It'll make an adjustment so you're always at like the right height.
Well, that answers the question I was going to ask, which is what is True Set active?
There you go.
But now you've done it. Well, that's neat. But it doesn't have it, so we won't show it off today.
Well, I thought it did.
So it's like a tech expo.
Yep.
But you left some of the newest tech at home?
Correct.
Okay.
We can only get as good as we can.
And is that because he was in charge of setting all this
Whenever
up?
you let Paulson plan anything, it never goes
I get
right.
about 75% of it right. That's pretty
not
good.
bad.
See,
That's
that'll
not
get you to
bad.
the Hall of Fame.
See,
That's almost 76%.
That's almost.
They got some of the new combine models here as well, so this looks like it's the S7 900. I also saw these at Commodity Classic, but didn't do any filming. But what's new on the new models now?
So a couple
Other
big
Sam.
things that everybody's wanted. Cross-auger shutoff. So finally, from factory, you can get cross-auger shutoff, plus your adjustable spout. So you can retrofit it on older S-Series, so like your combine, you can retrofit cross-auger shutoff in your adjustable spout.
I could?
You can.
Is it a foot pedal? Or how do you turn it on and off?
So it is just all on the display. Holy crap! All on the display. You can just basically program to when you unload fully, it'll turn the clutches on, and then dump everything out, and then you can fold your auger back. So it's all through the monitor inside the cab.
So can you set it so that when you are empty, it doesn't keep trickling?
Yep.
Okay.
So you can adjust how long it turns on and off and everything on inside the cab.
Okay.
So it's all through the cab, all through the monitor.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
And what that means for those who don't know is, if you don't get your hopper empty, it's a lot of weight to sit in that auger. A lot of grain weight sitting in that auger, pulling on things. And then when you start it up again, there's high chance, or you're hard on the gearbox.
Yep.
Yeah, we've sheared bolts before doing that exact thing. So what it's going to do is shut off the augers inside the hopper and let this empty out. even if you still got a half a hopper of grain inside there, so that your main auger is not sitting full. Is that a new spreader in the back?
Yep, so that's
Is that up, or is that how that sits?
adjusted down right now, but they put on, so just like on the X9, they had the advanced power cast tailboard.
Yeah.
Now they moved that over to here.
Yep,
Just
yep,
same,
yep, yep.
The same tailboard that's on the X9 is now on the S series, and then you also have smart swath. So now you can program it if you want your trash to go right or left or center. So now you can program that inside the display that when you're going and you want it all shooting to the right, as soon as you turn around, it'll shift it to the left. So now you have your trash spread evenly all the way through.
I thought you're talking like if there's a crosswind
Yep.
and you want it to fudge one way or the other.
Yep.
I thought they had that before. I thought our 780 had that.
You can adjust it manually, but I don't know if it auto swaps. So I don't know if it swaps automatically.
I'll check on that in a month.
I don't think it does, but I believe on this it does.
Okay.
$10 you forget.
$10?
That's it?
You're gonna owe me $10. I see it's got a fancy ladder too. Does that fold up automatically?
This does not fold up automatically.
But it can fold up
Yep.
or swing out some way or another.
So you can swing it back and forth, and then it folds up and down as well.
Ooh, I like that.
Up and out of the way.
Come again? Did you say predictive ground speed automation?
Yep. Predictive ground speed automation, which really rolls off the old tongue.
That's how
What a
every
cute-
farmer
what a
will refer
cute
to it.
Little catchy name they came up with.
Explain what it is.
It's cameras similar, like the stereo vision cameras. You can see them on top of the cab right there. There's two of them that look down at the crop in front of the combine.
Do you know how many feet it looks in front of you?
I don't know, like 40-ish.
28.
28.
28 feet.
28. That's almost 40.
That's
And it also uses high definition
Satellite
satellites. Enhance.
Enhance.
satellite imagery.
Enhance.
enhanced.
Enhance.
So it works in tandem with both, because everything prior to model year 25 is all reactive. So you're going through the crop,
Yeah.
and it just reacts to what the crop is. This is predictive, so it'll look at what's in front of you plus the satellite imagery, put that all into a work plan, and then as soon as you go into the field, you'll have a predictive ground speed map and also basically a predictive yield map as well, side by side, so you can kind of get an idea what your yield is going to be.
So you're gonna have to load that satellite imagery.
Yep, straight from Op Center. You basically load up your satellite imagery, give it a day to process it, send it right to the machine through Work Planner, and then hop in, go in your field, and then everything will be there. Turn it on and go.
So it's gonna layer that data with what it sees in the
Yeah.
cameras
Yep.
and try to predict the amount of, like, is it just like a yield prediction, so a grain prediction, or is it gonna predict like how,
It looks at like biomass.
Yep.
And
Okay.
bases your predictive yield off of the biomass.
by?
So you said reactive and then predictive, not proactive.
Proactive, reactive.
But is
predictive.
redictive a word?
I don't
You
think
know,
so.
predictive.
Look it up in an Urban Dictionary and see what comes up.
That's where you should always go for the most informative stuff.
Put sunscreen on, you pansy.
What's beeping at me for? I didn't do anything.
It'll be fine.
It'll be
It's
fine.
ordinary.
That's what I always kind of say in my own head when things beep at me anyway.
It's
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It always beeps. Now there is an X9 1100 with a new header on it. I'm gonna add in before we go any further also that we're actually not, at this point anyway, Kibble customers. Sam works with Kibble, organized this whole deal, put it on and invited me down. This is not a paid advertisement of any sort. It's just a fun thing to come visit and show you guys. Are you just following me everywhere like that?
I didn't know you saw me.
HD50F, so this is a different header than what we have with just the 740F.
Which
FD? FD.
Yeah, so you've got a we got a 745 FD,
740.
so a 40-foot flex draper, but it's
Yeah.
not. So the cutter bar is flexible, but the head isn't hinged.
Right.
That's the difference with the HD.
It won't look like this if you set it on that block.
Yeah. So it's a the wider the head gets, the more ability to contour is probably ideal. Especially, I mean, this is really big in ground cutting like beans or wheat.
Yeah.
Wheat.
Wheat.
So it's just got the ability to flex up to, I'm not the expert, 4 degrees, something like that.
I mean, a bunch.
So you can set down pressures for your wing, your center frame, your outer wing, control those from the display.
Yeah, so you don't have to come out here and crank on anything. You change it in the cab.
Yep, and if you're doing anything off ground, like let's say you're cutting weed at a certain height, you know, not like soybeans, but you're cutting off ground, they come with wheels, gauge wheels. They mount on there if you're doing anything off ground. Otherwise, it's going to try to get as close to the ground as possible and then maintain a down pressure.
Sure. So for the bigger, mostly flatter fields like what we have, it's not entirely necessary, but you're definitely going to see some improved cutting in the areas where we go through draws or swales, certain hills where you sometimes have a, I don't want to say a rigid spot, but the head's a little bit too rigid and you end up not getting a close cut in certain areas. This is going to contour a lot better through those draws.
Yeah, see these little bumps right here?
Yes.
These were supposed to where the cutter bar would set on it and show how flexible it is, but Sam didn't park it very good.
He didn't pull far enough forward?
No, but I don't know, it's tough to find good help.
Well, that's unimpressive. Sam.
Yeah.
Is this the tractor Duggo drove? All spring?
Oh yeah, Doggo planting, picking rocks. No, they didn't pick rocks.
They didn't pick rocks. Cultivating. Larson Farms actually drove that tractor right there.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. They've even got all the fancy sprayer stuff out here today. They got a 412R over here, which would be similar to ours, same frame, but a 1,200 gallon tank. I'm pretty sure that tank is numbered. So it's a split tank, meaning it's got the one chemical that will lay down residual herbicide and the second chemical, which will be applied only on the weeds. So it's a systemic herbicide, meaning you can save a lot, usually roughly around 2/3 of your chemicals on your systemic side. Residual chemicals basically have to lay a blanket because they're sprayed with the intention of keeping weeds from coming through eventually. The systemic ones kill the weed once it's up by feeding through the leaves. So the systemic herbicides are the ones that will actually be identifying the individual weeds and spraying just the weeds themselves. So that is why, yeah, that tank is numbered 1 and 2. Two different types of chemical mixes. And they're using the same nozzle bodies here, meaning the same bodies that are spraying, but they've got 2 separate lines that actually come from the individualized tank. So it looks like 1 tank, but it's split, it's actually 2. That is not something that's built onto our sprayer, so that's different than ours. So we don't have that ability. You can get that in an upgrade kit for a lot of the sprayers that were built either without it or built before that was an option. Well, see you later.
Well, thought I'd never get rid of that guy. These are your pumps here. See, there's a triple pump, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, those are the pumps.
They're the pumps that you can tell that's because of the way they are.